called The Awful Potential. Don't tell me that the sins of the Father are visited upon the Son. I know this. Just as I know the look in the villagers' eyes was never fear only, but this hatred that was wholly part of them. Have they told you of my awful potential? And did they call me Frankenstein's monster? Well, they are liars. They lie. My name is Adam, and I'm not lovable. I know this. My skin is green. It's not growing things green. It's the color of something held on too long, of something gone bad from the beginning. My flat skull, they say, happened the day God looked down from the heavens and said, there is good and there is bad, but this is what all of the bad inside mankind would look like, given a shape. A sin so original there was no room for it in all of Eden. This, God said, is not mine. Well, let God hate me. I never asked to be born. But being here, all I wanted were answers to the same questions as anyone who's asked, who am I and why? I never knew the womb, but I am no miracle of motherless birth. I was a mistake, stolen into being. They call my father the modern Prometheus, and that's true, but look closely at the myth. Prometheus was a thief. And no one will ever believe how sorry I am about the girl. When I found her, she was kneeling by a pond picking flowers. My heart was moved. Until that moment, I didn't know I had one. This was no blind man's kindness, no soup shared out of loneliness. She looked right at me and smiled. This made no sense. She gave me a flower, and all of my strength went weak in front of her. I dropped the flower into the water where we watched it swirl, and she laughed, and I grew confused. I thought she wanted to swim too. When I cried for help, though, her mother just looked at me and screamed, and out came the villagers with their torches and pitchforks, intent on smiting this atrocity sprung up amongst them, howling of my awful potential, of the limbs that could break them, of a body that could endure, a creature that feared nothing they could bring, until they brought fire. And behind the fire the cowards found courage. But as they drove me back, I looked in their eyes, and I knew what their hatred was. When they sleep, they dream of vast mythologies full of amazing creatures, and awake, they'd shoot these things on sight. They'd kill their own dreams. Then again, these are a people who worship a God who let his own son die to prove a point, a God who named every angel he burned. The final irony is they drove me to my father's house where, like all of his sins, given the shape of my hands at his throat, I came back. And I think of the villagers with their fear and their fire, and I've seen what came of my father with his science and mad resolve, and I even look into the eyes of God. And that's when I know there is an awful potential behind all of this, but it is not